Hello everyone and welcome to another huge book haul. I have no words to say, honestly. So this is another huge book haul. It's like 27 books, a lot. Yes it is. Either way, let's get into it. So a lot of these books, the majority of them, I'm not gonna lie to you, are from publishers. A lot of them I have requested and so graciously got accepted for those requests. I never expect to, and then they do, and I'm like, ah. And some of them I have just got sent to publishers. There are some from book boxes. There's a couple I bought. So I'm just gonna dive right on in for you guys. So the first one I want to show to you guys is Renegades by Marissa Meyer. Forgive me as the dust jacket is off of it currently because I am reading it right now. I'm about halfway through, and I'm really enjoying it. This is actually the Target edition. I'll put the cover for you right here so you can see, but this is the, so this is obviously on the actual hardback, which I really enjoy. I'm actually really enjoying this book. I expected to like it, but I didn't expect it to love it as much as I am. So basically, this is a kind of sci-fi, I would say, book, and it's the first book in her new series, and it's about renegades versus kind of the anarchists. So in this world we have these superheroes. We have people that are born with powers sometimes, or they inherit these powers through some sort of course in their life, and those people usually become renegades, and renegades are like the superheroes. Then we have the kind of anarchists who are like the villain. So in this book we follow two main characters, one named Nova, who is an anarchist, and she is a villain, and her power is she can put people to sleep just by touching them, and she also never sleeps. And then we follow our renegade, our good guy named Adrian, who goes by the name Sketch, and he can draw things and like bring them to life. What he draws, like, he can draw like a bag, and he could pull it like literally out from his drawing and just make it come to life. So basically we have Nova, who goes undercover as a villain to become a renegade, to kind of scope them out, and things obviously get murky. This is a very interesting book. It's a very lengthy one. It's over, I want to say, 500 pages, and I'm in the middle of it, and it is kind of slow, but I'm so entranced by the world, and these characters are just so amazing. I'd say if you're a big like superhero fan, you definitely need to read this book. It's kind of like X-Men, where you have all these people that have different powers and them collaborating together. And even in the front of the book we have like our cast of characters, and it shows you like the good people and what their powers are, and the bad people and what their powers are. So basically in this whole book we have the anarchists, the villains, trying to take back over the society which Renegades is built upon. So that's our whole scheme here. I don't want to tell you anything more about it because you just need to go into it blind, but just know it's kind of the quintessential superheroes versus villains, and I am really enjoying it. The next book I'm going to show you, Harper Teen sent to me, and that is Far From the Tree by Robin Benway. I actually read one of her other books called Emmy and Oliver this month, and I was really pleasantly surprised by it, and then I decided I really loved Emmy and Oliver. I must read her other books. So I reached out and asked, hey, can I review this? And they so graciously sent this to me. And this has been compared to a ton to the TV show This Is Us, which is a good and bad thing. Good because the show's so amazing. Bad because I know it's probably going to make me sob a million tears. Actually, it follows Grace, who learns that she is been adopted. So she decides to track her biological family down, and she learns that she has an older sister and I believe a younger brother. So basically we have these three kids from all different lots of lives that are actually really brother and sister. So they pair up together and learn more about family and life and all that kind of stuff. I know it's gonna probably make me cry a ton. It says Robin Benway's beautiful interweaving story of three very different teenagers connected by blood explores the meaning of family in all its forms, how to find it, how to keep it, and how to love it. So I'm so excited for it. So I plan to read this in December because I just love Robin Benway's writing style, and her stories just pull you in so much. So I cannot wait to read this. I can wait to shed a lot of tears though, but it'll happen either way. And I believe this just won. It was actually a National Book Finalist Award, or maybe won the National Book Awards. I'm not sure. I'm just excited to read it. The next book got sent to me by Henry Holt, and that is Foolish Hearts by Emma Mills. This is another YA contemporary. I've been in a YA contemporary kick lately, and I love it because that's like my passion. About a girl named Claudia who gets involved with her class production of The Midsummer Night's Dream, along with a boy that's really interested in it. All about exploring the world of like school theater and things like that. Also exploring new friendships, a love interest, and things like that. I've heard tons of really good things about this book, how it's very, very adorable, but it also has a little bit of depth, which are some of my favorite contemporaries by far. So I'm very, very excited to read this. I also plan to read this in December because let's just read all of the books in December. I would love that actually. The next book got sent to me by Freeform, and that is The Bells by Danielle Clayton. This book actually does not come out till February 18th, so I was very, very excited for it. One thing I am worried about it is the sheer size of it. Like, this is a thick book. The cover is stunning. This is like a new fantasy book. I want to say it's a part of a series. I'm not not sure about it. I don't know too much information about it because I haven't quite done my, you know, most anticipated books of 2018 yet and done my research on ones. This is definitely on that list. I just don't know much about it. There's this word that says, there is no beauty without their blood. That's kind of creepy. We follow a girl named Camilla who is a belle, and basically in the opulent world of New Orleans, belles are revered for they control beauty, and beauty is a commodity coveted above all else. In Orleans, the people are born gray, they are born damned, and only with the help of a belle and her talents they can transform and be made beautiful. So basically we follow this girl who's a belle. That's not what she wants though. She wants to be the favorite belle. She wants to be chosen by the Queen of Orleans to live in the imperial palace, to tend to the royal family, and to be recognized as the most talented belle. Tackling a lot of things. It's tackling, like, you know, privilege, it's tackling race, it's tackling gender equality, gender identity. So I have heard nothing but amazing things about this book, and the spine, holy crap. But either way, I'm very, very excited to read this, and I plan to read this next year for sure. Can't wait to read it. It sounds like it's going to be one of those like books that you read at the very beginning of the year that just stays with you the whole year. Next up, let's go ahead and show you what books I got in my Alcrate uppercase, because let's shake things up a bit, shall we? So the book I got in my uppercase box is Rosemark by Livia Blackburn. Blackburn. Oh my gosh. This cover, again, it's got the pink with the gold on it, and on the actual end papers you have the map. It's beautiful. So in this fantasy world, we have a healer who cannot be healed. We have our main character Ziva, who falls prey to this deadly rose plague, and it's only a matter of time before she really falls like ill, I think, or dead or something. A guy that's been shattered by war, and Dionysus, he thirsts for revenge for his captor. So I think Ziva and him meet up together, and they're both kind of on opposite ends, but they team up together anyway. I'm not sure. This is one book I've seen around, but I don't know too much about, but it sounds kind of like all the things I want, like this fantasy world, kind of the forbidden romance, really fighting hard for what you believe in. So I'm very, very excited to check it out. So yeah, and the spine again. Spines are just winning it these days. My Alcrate box, I got The Glass Spare by Lauren DeStefano, and I'm not super excited for this one because I've read a few of her other books before and I wasn't a big fan of them. I read her Chemical Garden trilogy, and it was, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I have to reread them one day. I'm not sure. This is a new book in a series trilogy. I'm not sure. But in this one, again, it's got the kind of fantastical world with a forbidden romance. And we follow Wilhelmina, who is a daughter of a king, and basically she's attacked one day and she discovers a dangerous secret that her touch turns people into gemstone. Hence why we have all these kind of like gemstones on the cover. She's forced to face her power, and then she, finding her path to redemption, she's put in front of the path of a cursed prince who has his own ideas what to do with Will's power. So obviously we have a lot of things going on here. We have like a princess and a prince, and maybe they like each other, maybe they don't. We have a girl that's touch is kind of deadly. It sounds really, really interesting. I am interested in it. I'm just very wary because I'm not a huge fan of her writing style. So if you've read this, let me know. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Will I like it? Let me know. The next book I have is Love, Hate, and Other Filters by Samara Amod. Hopefully I pronounced that right. I apologize if I didn't. This is also coming out in 2018, and this cover, this is awesome. This is one of my most anticipated reads as well because it just sounds so diverse, and it's about a girl that's in the arts. This is about a girl named Maya who is American born, but she's torn between worlds. Her parents want her to be the proper Indian daughter to attend a college course in like their Chicago suburb, and they want her to be paired off with the older Muslim boy, and she doesn't want any of that. She wants to go to film school. She wants to meet a boy of her own agenda. She doesn't want to be like forced in kind of a marriage. Unbeknownst to Maya, there's like a danger looming beyond her control. When there's a terrorist attack in another Midwestern city, the prime suspect happens to share her last name. So in an instant, obviously her world changes. This book is a searing, honest portrait of what it really means to be a Muslim American teen loyal to two cultures and figuring out how to carve out a space of her own in between. I think that was said beautifully. So we have this girl that she loves America, and she also really identifies with her Muslim culture, and it's really hard to blend those two together in a country where maybe that's not the easiest to do because things that are going on and she's being labeled as something that she's not. And I cannot wait to read this. I'm very just excited that she's going to be a filmmaker, and I can't wait to read her journey and just how she overcomes all of this and how she deals with it. So very excited for this one. Then I have Love, Life, and the List by Casey West. So this book was actually slated to come out in March, but it actually got pushed up to December, so it comes out next month. So excited for it. And this is Casey West's newest book. She writes like a crazy one. I think she's written like 3 books or had 3 books published this year alone. This is about a girl named Abby who summer's not going the way she planned, whose really does, and she basically gets rejected from an art show because her work has no heart. So she's challenged herself 1 month to do 10 things. From like facing a fear to learning a stranger's story and a whole bunch of stuff. If she can complete the list, she'll become the kind of artist she's always dreamed of being. But as the deadline approaches, she realizes maybe the list isn't as straightforward as she thought. So I'm expecting with Casey West books just to be really cute and adorable with love, with fluffy romances. That's kind of Casey West's thing, and I love it. She's one of my favorite contemporary authors, so I can't wait to read this one. It comes out next month, and I plan to read it, obviously, but yay. I mean, it's just adorable books. I can't get enough of those contemporaries that are just straight up adorable. Then I have a couple books Swoon Read sent to me, and the first one is My New Crush Gave to Me by Shanna. So this is about a girl named Charlotte who knows what she wants for Christmas. A guy, one particular guy, that's all she wants for Christmas. All she wants for Christmas is you, Tio. That's the guy's name. She has a plan, is to rig the school's secret Santa for her to get him, I think. But then she has no idea how to get him, so I think Tio's cousin comes into play. So his name is JD, and basically he's helping her, you know, maybe win the heart. And then of course, as it goes on, maybe Charlotte realizes maybe Tio's not the guy she wants, maybe it's JD. So it sounds to be like a really just cute Christmassy book that I love. So I definitely plan to read this next month. It says, who needs a Christmas miracle when you can have a foolproof plan? Are all plans really foolproof? I don't think so. Have another 2018 release, and that is Let's Talk About Love by Claire Kane. Look at this cover. Look at this gorgeous woman. I love her hair. This is coming out in January, and this is about Alice. And Alice had her whole summer planned. I feel like I've said that like 3 times. 3 of these books were like, they had their whole summers planned, and they're not going as planned. Alice breaks up with her girlfriend who ended things when Alice confessed that she was asexual. Alice is done with dating, no thank you. She's not interested in it, but then she meets Takomi, I hope I said that right, who she can't stop thinking about him or the rom-com feelings that she has. Her dealing with her asexuality, but also having feelings for a different person and things like that. So that is awesome. I have yet to read a book with the asexual main character, so I'm very, very excited to read this one. And the fact that she is an African-American asexual main character makes me super excited. And I mean, the cover just looks adorable. It sounds like it's going to be a very like coming into who you are kind of story, discovering who you are and who you love, and I can't wait to read it. So next up, HarperCollins sent me a huge package of a whole bunch of books, and I was like, what? It was just a surprise, and I am very, very excited for all of them. So first up, they sent me the collector's edition of Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. Like, look at this beautiful beast. And then you have the raised blade edges, and then actually on the dust jacket or the hardback, you can't see it, but it's like, well, you can barely see it. It's like Red Queen, then it has the actual crown up there. So this is a book that I still haven't read. It was really big a few years ago, and I believe the trilogy just ended or is still going on. I'm not sure. But this is a world where pretty much the blood determines like who you are. So it follows the main character Mare, and her blood is red, and that's kind of lowly, like red bloods are no good, silver bloods are better. So Mare somehow gets up into the palace of silver bloods, and I think she's supposed to like forces her to be the role of a lost silver princess and betroths her to one of her own sons. And then basically I think she learns, probably, I'm gonna guess here, I don't know if it's spoiler or not, I haven't read it, is that she's actually a silver blood instead. I'm not sure, let's just say that. But I've heard mixed things about this book, which is why I have yet to read it, because some people are like, it's amazing, some people are like, it's not that great. So if you have read this book, let me know your thoughts and feelings on it. Would I like it? Did you enjoy it? Stuff like that. But there's no denying that this cover is just straight up gorgeous, like so stunning. Next up, they sent to me The Afterlife of Holly, Chased by Cynthia Hand. I mean, look at all of these beautiful spines and back covers, and just these have the deckled edges on it. So this is a very interesting book. So it says on here, every Scrooge deserves a second chance. So you're like, what does that mean? This follows our main character Holly, who on Christmas Eve 5 years ago, she was visited by the ghost of like Christmas past, Christmas present, Christmas future. And basically, you know what happens, they try to show you your ways and you're supposed to wake up and be like, oh yeah, I want to change. Holly did not change. She was like, screw it. So now, then she died. Now she's stuck working for the top secret Project Scrooge as the latest ghost of Christmas past. So every year they save another miserably grouch. Every year Holly stays frozen at 17 while her family and friends go on living without her. So far, Holly's afterlife has been miserable, but this year everything's about to change. So it's all about her being the ghost of Christmas past. It's just really unique. I've never read a book about like that before, so I really would like to read this in December. This also has very mixed reviews on it, so I don't know, like I want to read it and check it out, so we'll just have to see. But I mean, I'm not gonna lie, the plot sounds interesting as heck. A girl that decided, no, I'm not gonna change, now she's the ghost of Christmas past. Then we have The Nowhere Girls by Amy Reed. This is a very hard-hitting contemporary book about 3 girls that decide that they're gonna start, you know, erasing the stigma of rape culture and talking about it and really facing it head on in their school. So I think there was this girl in their school that claimed that she got raped by like the high school's quarterback, and nobody believed her, so she kind of fled town because she was kind of forced out of town because everyone said that she claimed rape and it didn't happen. So these girls are deciding to they know that she was telling the truth. They decided to take matters in their own hands. So they form an anonymous group of girls at Prescott High to resist the sexist culture at their school, which includes boycotting sex of any kind with the male students. As the Nowhere Girls grow in number, their movement becomes more about sex and transforms the lives of its members, their school, and their entire community. The Nowhere Girls are everywhere. So this sounds like it's going to be such an amazing, hard-hitting contemporary that really talks about a very, very, very important topic about rape culture and kind of the things that happen when you say you were raped and some people don't believe you and things like that. So I cannot wait to read this book. I'm sure it's gonna make me upset, it's gonna make me happy, it's gonna make me cry, it's gonna make me smile in triumph, it's gonna make me feel all of the feelings. So either way, there's no denying this is a very, very important read. Again, HarperCollins is killing it with their spines. Then they sent me The Dazzling Heights by Katharine McGee. This is the second book. The first book was called The 1,000th Floor. And this cover again, like these covers are stunning. And the end papers of this book again, beautiful. So what I know about The 1,000th Floor is it's just that. It's this building that has 1,000 floors. And it's like every occupant lives on a floor, I believe, and I've heard this book in particular compared a lot to Gossip Girl. And if you know me, I love some Gossip Girl. Is it the best show ever? No, it is not. Is it a guilty pleasure of mine? Yes, it is. Like, it's not the best acting, not the best plot. It's got a lot of flaws. So I plan to read this, obviously, but I need to read The 1,000th Floor first, which if you've read it, let me know. So the last book Harper sent to me was This Mortal Coil. Coil? I think that's right. By Emily Saveda. Again, amazing cover, amazing spine. This is a sci-fi book basically, and it's about a girl named Katarina who is a hacker, and she can cripple mainframes and crash through firewalls. But basically in her world, people are implanted with technology to recode their DNA, making them be able to change their appearances. Like they could be whoever they want to be. And basically Kat is a gene hacking genius. So her dad was like a legendary geneticist who has the last hope of defeating this plague, but then he was kidnapped. So basically I think it sounds like Kat is gonna have to fill in for her dad to create like this vaccine for this plague, also to save her dad. I don't know, it sounds really interesting. I really love sci-fi books and I don't read nearly enough of them as I need to, but this one sounds like it's gonna be like a DNA hacker and she has to save her father and also come up with a vaccine. Like, sign me up. Sounds really interesting. I got for Book of the Month for this month. I am a Book of the Month ambassador. I'm very, very excited for it. And they had some amazing books this month. So the first book I got was Bonfire by Kristen Ritter. Yes, the same Kristen Ritter that is Jessica Jones, one of my favorite Netflix series. So this is her first book that she actually wrote. And it's kind of a adult thriller. It's all about this woman who becomes an environmental lawyer and she moves away from home because something happened, and then something happens again where she's called back to home. She has to work, and then she's realizing there's this case, I think, where her best friend goes missing and she has to delve into it. I'm not sure about it. With the thrillers, I kind of like to go into them not knowing much at all because I feel like that'll destroy the whole premise of the book. So either way, I'm excited for this. I've heard really, really good things about this book, which is always awesome when an actor writes a really good book. So I'm excited to read it, and I want to read this next month, but I feel like my December TBR is already going crazy. Next book I picked from the from Book of the Month that I actually already read is The Rules of Magic by Alice Hoffman. This is a prequel to Practical Magic, the movie and the book kind of. I like this. I didn't love it. If you know anything about Practical Magic, it's about the Owen sisters who are witches, and it discovers they're witches and stuff like that. This actually follows their aunt in Practical Magic, so back when they were younger, and also their brother. It was interesting. It's a very, Alice Hoffman has a beautiful way of writing. It's very storytelling, very picturesque, but I found it to be kind of slow. It's definitely a slow burning book, and it's more about discovering their life and reading about their life and their love and stuff like that. So if you're interested in just for like the witch factor, I wouldn't say that plays a huge part in this book at all. If you're more interested about learning like about how somebody goes through life from like as a kid to an adult, I would highly recommend this book. But overall, like, I liked it. I didn't love it. I think I just expected it to be more witchy, if that makes any sense. And the last book I picked from Book of the Month is Artemis by Andy Weir. So excited. Yes, the same Andy Weir who wrote The Martian, one of my favorite books of all time. So this book is all about like a city on the moon, hence why like this is the moon. There's a city on the moon, and it's called Artemis. And basically we follow a character named Jazz, who is a thief that kind of lives on the moon as well. Basically the people that live on the moon are kind of either like really eccentric billionaires or people that just are tourists, and Jazz steals a lot of things. And I think she gets caught up in like this heist or something. I don't know. I'm just excited to read it. My one fear is that I'm going to go into it expecting to read about The Martian and Mark Watney, and that's not it at all. So I have to really make sure I keep those two things separate, because just because Andy Weir wrote The Martian doesn't mean that's all he can write. So Simon & Schuster sent to me, and that is The Empress by S.J. Kincaid. This is the second book to The Diabolic, which both have amazing covers as well. The Diabolic was basically about like these things called the diabolics, who are kind of like machines that are set to like be protectors of people, and they really have no feelings, no emotions or anything like that. We followed a princess, I think, who had a diabolic, and the diabolic's name was Nemesis, and Nemesis really helped the princess, and then she actually had to become the princess because things happen, and Nemesis learning that maybe she has feelings and stuff like that, that she's not like this machine that protects people. So yeah, it's a sci-fi book I've heard really good things about. I obviously still need to read The Diabolic before I can dive into this one. Next up, we have Follow Me by Sarah Shepard. This is the second book in the Amateurs series. I don't know if it's gonna be a trilogy. I did read The Amateurs last year. If you know Sarah Shepard, it's kind of, you know, just a YA thriller. And in this particular series, we follow this main character who is really into cold cases, figuring out cases that police have not been able to hack. And one particular case that she's very, very much interested in, there's this teenage girl that kind of went missing from her backyard. No one knows how. So she's been on these forums a lot of these cold cases, and she meets a friend on there, and they're both really interested in this one particular case of Helena Kelly. And they also see that Helena Kelly's sister has been on the forum being like, somebody help me figure out this case. The police can't crack it, and they decide, hey, let's go try to crack it together. So they go down there and they meet up with Helena Kelly's sister, and they decide to find out what happened to Helena Kelly, and that's what this whole book is about. So the sequel follows kind of the same thing, these same people that are really interested in these cold cases, only there's a new case that pops up about this kind of socialite that's in Jersey, and she disappears pretty much. The only difference, or shall I say the similarity, is that she looks exactly like Helena Kelly. So they're deciding to think maybe these two cases are linked, so they're apparently diving into this case, obviously still while keeping with the same thread that's with the other case. I hope I explained that right. Either way, it's a YA thriller. If you know Sarah Shepard, she writes these addicting books that somehow you just find yourself getting sucked in, and you're like, how did that happen? It just happens. This book Disney Hyperion sent to me, and that is Unearthed by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner. This is the first book in their new series, I want to say. It's a sci-fi series, and I believe it's about kind of like aliens. This is when the Earth intercepts a message from the long extinct alien race. It seems like the solution that humanity has been waiting for. So that's all I know really about it. I don't know, it's about aliens and sci-fi. What really drew me to this is Amy Kaufman, because she's a part of the Illuminae series, which I love. So I really trust her writing style with sci-fi, and I really want to read more sci-fi, hence why I have this. But I'm excited for this one. The Philosopher's Flight by Tom Miller, which wins the most beautiful cover ever. Like, look how beautiful this cover is. And the spine, oh, I just love it. So this one is very interesting. It says half science, half magic, entirely fantastic. And this is all about a guy named Robert Weeks. He's one of the few men who practice empirical philosophy, an arcane female-dominated branch of science used to summon the wind, heal the injured, and even fly. So basically what happens to him is he rises to the occasion and he wins a scholarship to study philosophy at Radcliffe College, an all-women's school. So basically we have like this guy that's trying to make it into like into a woman's world apparently. So that's very, very interesting to read about. So it sounds very, I don't know, like half science, half magic. Like it's about science with the flying thing, and I don't know. I haven't heard anything about this. Like this showed up on my doorstep and I was like, you're a beautiful cover, but I have no clue what you're about. And then I got 2 middle grade books from Harper again. There is that on my face. Sorry about that. The first book is called The Goldrums and the Hemsley Curse by Nicholas Gannon. And I didn't know anything about this book. I think it's the second book in a series, but let's just talk about the cover of this. And then on the back cover and on the actual hardback and throughout this whole book I was flipping through it. There's pictures in it and there's just different illustrations. It looks very, very beautiful. Look at that, it's beautiful. So I don't know much about this. I think it's about like 3 siblings that are cracking cases or something like that, and I don't know. Either way, it sounds adorable. Probably I won't keep this because I don't read much middle grade books, honestly. And when I tend to get middle grade books, I tend to give them to my nephew because he really likes them. And the other book they sent to me is The Lost Frost Girl by Amy Wilson. And this is literally about Jack Frost's daughter. And I'm kind of interested in it. I might check it out because it sounds really cool. I love Jack Frost and let's read about his daughter. Why not? But either way, both really beautiful books. This one is heavy. Like, this could hurt somebody. And the very last book I have to show you guys, I got sent to by, I think, Harper? I'm not too sure, but that is the Fairy Handbook. And this is an enchanting, this is literally just a fairy handbook. This is actually from the editors of Fairy Magazine, and it's beautiful. As you can see, I've tabbed it right along here because they have beautiful photos in them. Like, look at these photos. It's literally all about fairies. Look at that. That's so beautiful. So this is literally all about fairies and has beautiful photographs, articles all about fairies. I'm actually going to gift this to my niece because she is a photographer as well, but she does really amazing Photoshop work. And she can just take like something that has beautiful makeup on and she can like transport them to another world. It's beautiful. Like she can do stuff like this. So I've tabbed all the photos in here because when I looked at this, I was like, this is exactly what my niece does. She's super talented. So I'm definitely going to give this to her because she would just love this so much and she can get inspiration from it and just drool over it like I did. There you have it. Those are all the books I bought / received in November. A lot of them. It's probably a very long video, but either way, I hope you enjoyed it. As always, if you've read any of these books, please let me know what your thoughts and opinions on them are. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.
I'll be home.